How Santa Became King of Christmas, an Epic Tale. Many, many billions of years ago, Christmas was a much more different holiday than the one we know today. So different, in fact, that most didn't consider it a holiday at all, and chose instead to call it an unholiday, or a day of terribleness and awfulness. You see, the Christmas we know today began to take root in the Christmas village of the North Pole, where Santa, today's King of Christmas, began his career as a humble servant. The man who held the title of King of Christmas at this time was best described not as a king but as a tyrant. That ruler, Vladimir Putin, ruled Christmas Village with an iron fist. His greed and thirst for power led him to make the yearly festival, Christmas Day, a day of misery for the Christmas villagers and children the world over. To satisfy his endless needs and desires, Putin demanded that the children of the world bring him presents rather than the other way around as we know today. This allowed Putin to accumulate mass wealth which held firm his control over Christmas. There was one young, ambitious Christmas villager named Bob Santa Claus. Bob Santa was the village brewer, running a fine brewery in the heart of Christmas Village. Although Bob was a master of his craft and brewed the finest beer in the North, he was very underpaid, and most of his beer went directly to Putin and his cronies. Santa wanted nothing more than to share his beer-tastic creations with the rest of the world, which he was not allowed to do. Bob Santa did have one very good and reliable friend in the Christmas Village, Jesus de Cristo. Jesus de Cristo had just returned from winning the Mustache Champion of the World Award for the fifth consecutive year. Bob Santa and Jesus de Cristo were very proud of the accomplishment. However, something very bad had happened. Jesus had gotten sidetracked on his way home to Christmas Village by a group of kittens that needed saving, which he naturally carried out. This made him late, and he arrived on Christmas Day. Having noticed Jesus de Cristo rolling into town with a shiny new trophy, it wasn't long before Putin and his cronies confiscated the new treasure and claimed it as their own. Bob and Jesus were very upset about this new development. The Mustache Championship was a source of pride and honor, and one that Jesus dedicated much of his time and hard work. They had had enough. Putin had to go. He had caused far too much misery in Christmas Village and ruined the Christmas festival for all. Over a few beers at Santa's brewery, they would devise a plan. Bob Santa had a revelation. Since Putin drank a large portion of the beer that Santa would brew, they could find a way to poison the beer and Putin would not suspect this. There were several challenges involved with this plan. Even if they could poison and weaken Putin, they would need an army to storm the castle and take out Putin's cronies. Jesus de Cristo had the perfect solution to this. Putin had tried many times to conquer the South Pole and expand his Christmas empire, but was unsuccessful. The 101st Penguin Airborne Division had successfully defended the South Pole against invasion many times. It just so happened to be that the General Waddles of the 101st Penguin Division was also the current president of the World Mustache Federation. He would be very upset to find out that the prize trophy of the Mustache Championship had been confiscated by Putin. Jesus de Cristo called General Waddles and asked for his help. Furious, General Waddles would send in his 101st Penguin Division to the North Pole immediately for an attack on Putin's Christmas castle. The pieces were in place for an effective assault. Bob threw a secret ingredient into his brew and delivered his daily batch of beer to Putin's castle. The 101st Penguin Division gathered in the valley below and prepared for the assault. According to plan, Putin foolishly imbibed his poisonous brew. Within minutes, he was in a deep nap and the stage was set for the invasion. Quickly, the 101st Penguin Division deployed and stormed the castle. Putin's minions, including his personal bodyguard, Gator Sharkosaur, were easily dispatched by the highly skilled Penguin fighting force. Christmas Castle was captured, and Putin's reign of terror was over. Putin was exiled to Russia forever, where he remains to this day. Bob Santa, having achieved a great victory, was promoted to King of Christmas, with his good friend Jesus de Cristo at his side. Santa would carry out a number of reforms, such as the personal delivery of Christmas presents to kids around the globe every Christmas, as payback to billions of years of theft by Putin. This is how the modern-day Christmas came to be, and will be happily ever after. The end.